Rachel skidded to a halt at the edge of the street, her breath catching as she stared into the black abyss below, swallowing the horizon. Sarah screamed, pulling back, while Kyle staggered to the side, muttering, "It's not real, it can't be real." But the ground was gone, just endless dark. Mark grabbed Rachel's arm. "We have to turn back." But when they spun around, the street behind them was collapsing, stone and dirt crumbling into the same endless pit, the town itself shrinking and forcing them forward. Rachel's chest heaved, her mind racing. "We'll be crushed. We'll be gone." Mark dragged them to a narrow staircase, crumbling downward, carved into the cliffside. It looked ready to collapse, but it was their only path. They stumbled down, the air thick like ash, clinging to their skin, each step groaning beneath their weight. The abyss yawned on both sides, black shapes moving in the depths like wings or arms or both. Rachel forced her eyes up, not down, her legs shaking. Sarah whimpered behind them, but they made it to the bottom. A wide cavern stretched out, lit by the same orange glow embedded in the rock like veins pulsing faintly. In the center stood rows of buildings just like the town above, sagging houses, a church, a diner, a mirror of Hollow Creek buried deep underground. "My God, there's more," Kyle whispered. Mark shook his head. "No, it's the same. It's always the same." Rachel's skin prickled. "What do you mean, always?" Mark didn't answer, his eyes fixed ahead. Figures moved among the buildings, pale and silent, but taller, stretched thin, their faces melted into blank skin, their bodies jerking with every step. Sarah gripped Rachel's hand, sobbing, "We can't stay here." But the path back up was gone. The staircase crumbled behind them, swallowed into the abyss. The air grew colder, the sound of chanting rising again. "Hollow Creek remembers, Hollow Creek remembers." The stretched figures turned their heads in unison, eyeless faces somehow staring. Rachel pulled Sarah forward, Kyle swinging his pipe at shadows that brushed too close. Mark clenched his jaw, his face pale with the realization he wasn't speaking aloud. Finally, Rachel snapped, "What do you know?" "Tell us." Mark turned slowly, his voice hollow. "I've been here before." Rachel's blood ran cold. "That's impossible." Sarah gasped. Mark shook his head. "I don't remember how, but I've seen this place in my dreams every night for months, the fountain, the priest, the faces watching. I thought they were nightmares, but they were memories." Rachel stammered, "That's not possible." But the cavern shook, the chant echoing louder. Mark's voice cracked. "It wanted me back. It brought me back, and it brought you too." Rachel's stomach lurched. "No, we don't belong here." The shadows closed in, their limbs reaching, stretching too long, fingers scraping across stone. Kyle swung wildly, but his pipe bent against them, useless. Mark grabbed Rachel and Sarah, shouting, "Run." They bolted through the mirror town, the glowing veins in the rock pulsing brighter, houses leaning inward as if the town itself was alive. The diner door slammed open as they passed, shapes writhing against the glass, mouths open in soundless screams. Sarah tripped and Rachel hauled her up, but when she looked forward, her heart froze. At the end of the street was another fountain, cracked and ancient, the black tar bubbling, just like above. The ground trembled, the chant becoming a roar. "Hollow Creek remembers." Rachel shrieked, we can't stop." But Mark slowed, his face twisted, his voice breaking. "This is it. This is where it ends." Rachel screamed at him to move, but his eyes were locked on the fountain. He whispered, "I remember now. I never left. I died here." Rachel's heart ripped. Her scream was lost in the roar. Sarah sobbed, "No, no. You're alive. You're here." But Mark shook his head. "The town never lets go. It only waits." His hands trembled as he shoved Rachel and Sarah forward. "Run, please." Kyle yelled, "What are you doing?" But before he could finish, the tar exploded upward, tendrils wrapping around Mark, dragging him into the fountain. His scream ripped through the cavern, his body vanishing beneath the black surface. Rachel screamed for him, but Sarah dragged her away, Kyle's face pale with horror. The ground split, cracks racing across the mirror. Town, houses collapsing, steeples falling, stones shattering, the stretched figures closing in from every side, their limbs jerked closer. Rachel's lungs burned. She couldn't see an exit. Then ahead, a door appeared in the rock, a heavy wooden door glowing faintly with white light. There. Sarah gasped. Go. They sprinted, the cavern collapsing behind them, the roar of the chant shaking their bones. Kyle shoved the door. It groaned open, white light spilling out. They stumbled through, Rachel's chest pounding. She spun around. The door slammed shut behind them, sealing the cavern away. They collapsed on cold grass, the night sky wide above, stars glimmering, the sound of crickets finally filling the air. Rachel sobbed, breathing hard. Sarah clutched her, whispering, "We made it. We're out." Kyle dropped the bent pipe to the ground, his hands shaking. "We're alive." But Rachel's body went cold. The field was unfamiliar, the road behind them broken and cracked. When she looked ahead, her stomach dropped. There in the distance, leaning crookedly, was the same wooden sign, its paint peeling, the words still clear, "Welcome to Hollow Creek." Her blood froze, her scream caught in her throat. Sarah whispered, "No, no, no, not again." But the sign glowed faintly, its letters burning orange, the same orange as every window in the town. In the dark field around them, shapes began to rise, pale faces, glowing eyes, the chant swelling louder and louder. Hollow Creek remembers. Hollow Creek remembers. Rachel's vision blurred, tears streaming, her heart hammering in her chest. She realized the truth. There was never an escape. There was only return. The forgotten town never let go, and it never would. The figures closed in, smiles too wide, eyes too hollow, and Rachel understood this was the end, or maybe the beginning, as the chant swallowed her scream forever.